What is going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new YouTube video. Quick lip update once again. As you can see, this part of the scab is actually starting to fall off. So this video you might actually see a fresh new formed lip right in front of your eyes. Because if that comes off, that's like a big part of the healing done. This part of the scab goes right down into my lip, and then it's kind of separated into two little bits of scab as it's gone on. Bottom half is definitely starting to peel away, but obviously I'm being very careful not to touch it or like agitate it or anything, so I'm just going to kind of let it fall off naturally. Now, I mentioned in the previous video that we're going to be kicking it old school for this video, so we are doing a full day of eating. I've noticed over time that these videos seem to do the best on my channel, and to be honest, I kind of enjoy watching full day of eating videos, so I guess that kind of works hand in hand. Just weighed in at 184.8, which is not a new low weigh-in, but I can't really expect that because I've eaten out a lot this week again. But as an average, let me put my data on screen for what's been happening this past month. I've done very well recently. Really happy with the progress, and it's actually been very simple for me to achieve. So I'm going to share with you what a full day of eating looks like at 2,500 calories. It's a good day for me to be making this video because I've got to do a food shop. I've got basically nothing in. I am probably going to eat my lunch out today, and of course I'm going to be training. So it's a fairly normal Saturday ahead. So you're going to see how I structure a day to make sure that I hit the macros and calories quite easily, to be honest. First thing on the agenda, let's get that food shop out the way. Then we're going to do our last physique check of the year, side by side with the one that we did on day one of the summer shred all those months ago. Then I'll probably go to the gym and we'll just take it from there. So as always, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Sit back, relax, grab a snack for this one, and let's get into it. Right, you just can't ignore the washing machine in the background, but food shop is done. The temptation was real today because I've not eaten a thing today and I'm starving. Especially in Aldi, obviously all the shops have got all the Christmas stuff in at the minute, but Aldi have obviously just released some, like, you know, fresh seafood like for Christmas, and it looked unbelievable. But I've told myself, resist, and if I really want to go get something later for dinner or something, it's open till 10, so I can always go out again and get something if I want it. I prefer to do that rather than buy it thinking I'm going to eat it and then have it sit in the fridge or freezer for ages. But either way, let's show you what we got today. So a couple of bags of the frozen skewers from Farm Foods. Love these. Macros on them are absolutely amazing and they're so great for convenience. I managed to resist everything but a nice big bag of king prawns because I've got some ramen that I want to make, and I'm thinking these will go amazing in it. I don't tend to buy prawns because the macros, although I love them, the macros aren't great. Like, you need a lot to get a decent amount of protein. They're super low in calories, but like either way, I just thought this is a 250 gram bag. I'll probably throw the whole bag in as one serving. Been a while since I had some potatoes, so we got some of them in. I will normally just, like, either, if they're small, I'll just leave them whole. Bigger ones I'll cut in half and I'll just air fry them, so they're nice little kind of like potato home fries, I guess. Avocado standard, egg standard, yogurt standard, asparagus standard. I've got a bit of an ick from frozen veg at the minute, so I'm tending to buy fresh veg every couple of days or so. I'll just pop into Aldi and buy a bit more. Choice of the day is asparagus, conference pears standard, cherries, blueberries. You know how it goes. We're keeping it simple, and this is pretty much what my diet is looking like at the minute. It is, I mean, obviously there's some more stuff that I haven't got, but I'll normally have these with rice and veg. Eggs breakfast, normally with sourdough or chicken sausage. That's the only thing I couldn't find today, chicken sausage, so I might have to go back out again at some stage to try and find that. But this whole food shop today, I think I spent like just under 20 quid in Aldi and then like 14 quid in Farm Foods, so pretty good haul. Either way, let's get all this put away and then it's time to sort breakfast. Alright guys, just thought I'd get this physique check done. So let's go ahead and see how we're looking now. I'm 184 pounds. I'm going to put my first ever physique check from the summer shred side by side, so let's see how we compare. So this is what we look like from the front, from the side, and condition wise, not bad. I just want to say as well, like, when I do these physique checks, this is the least impressive I'm going to look. I've got no water, no food in my system, I've not trained. This is as flat and like small as I will look at any given time. So yeah, like I'm not trying to create any illusions here. I'm not trying to make myself look better than I actually am. I'm not using any kind of funny lighting to enhance my physique. But either way, I feel like I look better than I did back then. I don't know if the footage is going to reflect that, but hopefully it will. But yeah, I'm very happy with the progress that I've made this year. I feel like, you know, I can't remember what the full weight is that I'm down, but I've kept a good amount of muscle. I'm feeling leaner for sure. So as a start point for 2026, I cannot complain. The work is not done yet. As you all know, the goal for me is to get in the best shape that I've ever been in. And the first step to that is to get lean. And I think I need another I'd say 4 to 6 months of cutting down to make sure that I'm at like peak condition. So stay tuned for that. We've got more physique checks to come in the new year. But as for now, super happy with what we've achieved. Alright, so I was hoping I was going to have a bit more time to eat, but it's already 10:05 and open gyms on 10 till 12. So I want to make sure I get there ASAP. So I'm just going to have a quick My Protein Jimmy's iced coffee blend. I don't normally like protein shakes. I don't really like them at all, to be honest with you, but I mean, I think needs must for convenience purposes. This isn't really going to do much to like fuel my workout per se. It's just so I've got something in my stomach before I train. When it comes to eating food before I train, I can do it, but I prefer not to. Especially if I haven't got like a decent enough window to like digest a little bit before I go and train. So this is going to do the trick for today. I still can't like drink things properly because of this lip, so I'm still obviously using a straw. But at this stage, honestly, I'm just used to it. Alright guys, so just an FYI before we even begin this workout, if I just cut the music out, if I cut this audio out and start playing some like random music over it, it's because as much as this gym plays amazing music, it can all get me copyrighted very quickly as I've noticed over time, so yeah, I've got to be careful about that. In another note, my ego has already been sufficiently boosted today because I haven't even set myself up yet. I've just got a bar on the ground, I'm just filming this intro clip. Already 2 members of the gym have approached me to say, you look like you've cut down quite a bit this year. And it's true because, to be honest, like we'll go over the stats a little bit later. Across this year, I've built about 1 kilo of muscle, maybe just under 1 kilo of muscle, but I've lost about like 9-10 kilos of body fat mass. So as a net, you know, I'm down a fair whack, but my composition has gotten so much better. So hopefully next year we can carry on in that same vein. I'm going to deadlift. Don't think I'm going to go super heavy because I've noticed that it just depends on what kind of day my spine is having. I've just got to work to that limitation. If it's not having a good day, it's not safe for me to go and lift maximally. So I'm just being sensible. So today we're just going to deadlift. We're going to keep it a pull waist workout. We'll do some deadlifts. We'll do some bent over rows, maybe some pull-ups, and then probably some biceps as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this session. So I don't know if you could tell on the camera, but that honestly moved like a piece of piss, and it's frustrating to know that I have so much more in the tank. But the sensible thing for me to do is to leave it there for today. Like even at that weight, because my body's just not used to heavy deadlifts at the moment. Like even in that rep, I felt it in my right hamstring. It was fine, but my right hamstring was like, okay, Dean, I can do this, but any more, and I might have to snap on you. So yeah, we're gonna leave it there for today. pretty solid session in the books. Deadlifts actually felt pretty good. You can tell I'm out of practice because, like, you know, just my CNS, hamstrings, lower back just don't quite feel primed and ready to take on the heavier weights, especially for more reps yet. But I cannot complain whatsoever. Went in training beltless, got up to 140 kilos. It's the first time I've lifted 140 kilos in some time as well, so I can't help. I have no choice but to be happy with that. Happy with the rest of the session as well. Bent over rows felt really good. Would have preferred to do some like lat pull down or some other kind of back accessory movements, but honestly, like Unit 7, as much as I love the gym, it doesn't have the biggest range of bodybuilding style equipment, which is why I'm kind of looking at getting another gym membership somewhere else to kind of supplement this one. But it was really nice. I'm really glad I came in today because literally, as I say, as soon as I come in, 2 members literally approached me, just obviously to say hello and have a chat, but to comment on how much I look like I've, you know, cut down this year, which is obviously amazing to hear. More about that a little bit later, but it's about midday now and all I've had is that protein coffee. So needless to say, I'm absolutely starving. I mentioned that I was going to get lunch out today. I think you all know what's coming. Of course, you already know Subway. If you ask me, Subway is a highly underrated food establishment. I'm a big fan of a Subway, as you all probably know at this stage. I always go for the same thing pretty much every single time. The foot-long double turkey on Italian, loads and loads of salad, and I tend to alternate the sauces. Today I've gone for light mayo and honey mustard. Fun fact, I actually put this on the seat next to me in the car and put the heated seats on to keep it warm when I was driving home. I mean, come on guys, just look at that. Packed full of lean turkey, loads and loads of salad. It's a big sandwich. This is going to keep me going for ages. And in this entire foot-long, I haven't tracked the salad, but it's 720 calories. 58 grams of protein, 79 grams of carbs, and 18 grams of fat, and I think it's so good for a post-workout meal. Or if you want a relatively healthy, high-protein meal on the go, I just think you can't go wrong with Subway. Also, I forgot to mention earlier that the protein coffee, the macros for that were just 209 calories, 21 grams of protein, 22 grams of carb, and 4 grams of fat, but that's boring, no one cares. Let's eat the sandwich now. I am looking forward to this. It's not very often I'll interrupt the food eating time lapse, but this sandwich, it's just the best. As always, that was absolutely phenomenal. Now, where does that leave us for today? So today's total so far, 929 calories, 79 protein, 100 carb, 23 grams of fat. Still got 1,571 calories to play with, so nearly 1,600 really. And it's 12:45 now. That meal is going to keep me full for at least 4 hours. So I'm thinking in my head what I'm going to do is have an early-ish dinner around 5 or 6 p.m, which is a lot earlier than I would normally have dinner, to be fair. Then this evening I'm probably going to be editing this video for most of the evening. So if I do get hungry for a snack, I imagine I'll have at least like 500 calories to play with. And I'm not going to lie, you know, when I was in Aldi earlier, I saw they had these Devonshire like stuffed crabs. They were like £5.50 each, so a little bit on the pricey side, but then again, I'm going to spend a lot more than that if I get a takeaway. So I know it sounds really strange, but I'm literally thinking about going to buy a whole crab later and just like eating that. But I think things like this are a good opportunity for people to think outside the box. It's Saturday, a lot of people would be reaching for a takeaway. You'd spend, let's just say for example, £15 a head on a takeaway, and you get a Chinese, an Indian, or a kebab or something like that. And let's be honest, you end up buying way too much food, you end up eating way too much food, you feel horrendous afterwards. Whereas if you were to go to the supermarket and treat yourself to something from there, yeah, you might have to come home and make something or put it in the oven or the air fryer or whatever, but it'll be less than half the price, it'll be less than half the calories, and you're a lot less likely to buy too much food or end up eating too much food. And for me personally, takeaways are definitely something that I have to regulate. I have a fair amount of them because I travel so much for work, and because I don't typically go out to eat with people, takeaways are normally the thing that I fall back on. Whereas going to the supermarket and getting something from there, it's just a more sensible choice in so many different ways, and you can still end up getting something that feels like a treat. Anyways, I've waffled on long enough here, let's talk data. Okay folks, so for the penultimate time this year, we are at the whiteboard. I'm probably going to do one more set of data on the 31st on New Year's Eve, because that's when I did my first ever piece of data using the in-body scanner. So let's go ahead and look at our most recent data. So the date today is Saturday 20th. I did a weigh-in on 16th earlier this week. As of then, morning weight was a new low of 83.37 kilograms. That's the lightest I've been all year. That was morning weight, as I mentioned. That's when I'm flat. I've got no food or water in my system. My in-body weight when I went to the gym to scan myself came at 85 kilos flat. That is, again, the lowest in-body weight I've hit all year. Muscle 40 kilos on the dot, to be honest. Looking at the stats from the start of the year compared to now, I've probably gained somewhere between 750 to 900 grams of muscle, which I can't really complain about. That's actually a good amount considering being on a calorie deficit for most of this year. Fat mass is probably the one I'm most proud of, though. We started the year at 24.1 kilograms, we're down to 15.3. That is, that's a big loss. That's like 9 kilos of just fat mass down. As you probably have gathered, I am more about body recomposition rather than just fat loss. I think if you aim for just fat loss, yes, I could have just had a massive deficit and you could have watched my weight come down over time, but you would have seen my muscle come down as well. And I've worked hard to gain muscle, so I really don't want to lose it. And I'm sure you're in the same boat as well. A lot of you want to cut fat, but like, you probably don't want to lose any muscle in the process, or you want to lose as little as possible during the process. And that's where I do feel like people get it wrong. And it's also a reason why quick fixes don't really work. You know, you can't just do a 6-week cut that's like a flash in the pan. Bear in mind, I've maintained the deficit now since like, what was it, April when I started the summer shred? The difference is I've made sure that my deficit has been slow and steady, therefore my progress has been slow and steady. There's nothing glamorous about it. I don't want to show you before and after in 2 months and show you, look how ripped I got in 2 months, because that's just not how this works. Guys, if you want to change your life, you have to change your daily behaviors. You have to make it a long-term behavioral change. It's fine if you want to tighten things up for a holiday, or if you want to tighten things up for an occasion, like a wedding, or I don't know, whatever you got going on. But you have to keep in mind, if you want to maintain a nice, lean, muscular physique year round, it's going to take a certain lifestyle in order to achieve that. There are other nuances, like, you know, your genetics might play a role, but for the most part, you're going to have to, you know, really pay attention to your training and your eating to some degree. I will tell you plainly and simply right now, this has not been difficult for me. It's not. I've just put basic systems and processes in place to help me hit certain targets, which are just not really difficult for me to hit. The difference is I've done it for a long time, and I've just relentlessly executed and executed and executed. And I've not convinced myself that I'm smarter than I am. I've just set the plan and done the work for a long time. I am extremely grateful that I've done this, because if anything, this year has taught me that, you know, I did get too comfortable and that I let my standards slip. But having done this for a few months now, I know for a fact that is not going to happen again. It's amazing looking back at this across the whole year. I'm really glad that I've taken this data and kept track of it, because it just shows me how far I've come and like what great of a starting position we have now to push on next year. I mentioned to you how I want to get in the best shape of my life, and to be honest, I do think I need to get my morning weight down to somewhere around the 80 kilo mark. My in-body weight somewhere probably around the 81, 82 mark. So, you know, we've still got about like 3 to 4 kilos left to go. I'm in no rush to do it as well. You know, as long as I'm in shape for summer next year, I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing, which is 2,500 calories, around the 180 grams of protein per day. I'm in a great rhythm with things. I'm eating foods that I genuinely enjoy every day. I'm still able to eat out with my friends. I'm still able to treat myself every now and then. What more could I possibly ask for, really? We're not going to spend too much time in this today because I want to obviously focus on the food more than anything. So with that in mind, it's 4:45 right now and it's already dark, which is fantastic. And I'm starting to get hungry now, so let's go ahead and prepare our next meal. All right, next meal has been rustled up. Every day I've got to have a meal like this. I've got to have a simple meal made up for protein, more than likely chicken, some kind of green veg and rice. I have this pretty much every single day. I know a lot of people might look at this and say it's super boring, but I think if you actually make it in a way that you actually enjoy, then there's nothing boring about it whatsoever. I really look forward to this kind of meal. So what I've got is 200 grams of chicken breast skewers. I've got half a bundle of asparagus, works out to around 125 grams. And then I've got 150 grams of plain basmati rice, and it's just seasoned with salt. The chicken's done with some jerk seasoning, but then the whole plate is pretty much just seasoned with salt, really. I know it's such a simple, basic meal, but honestly, like, don't sleep on them. I just think if you make these properly, make them a staple in your diet, they just help you so much. To add a bit of context to what I said in terms of why these meals are so useful to have in your rotation, this entire bowl of food, this entire big satisfying bowl of food, 427 calories. 427 calories. It's just more than half of the Subway that I had. Super low in calories, super high in protein. This is just such an underrated type of meal. 48 grams of protein in this as well, so it ticks so many boxes. Anyways, now this is in front of me, I'm absolutely starving, so let me get this down me. That didn't take long. Now let's see where that leaves us for the rest of the day. That meal was so low in calories. I'm still only on 1,356 for the day. I've had 127 protein, 147 carb, and 29 fat. I've still got 1,144 calories left to play with, and it's 5:30 in the evening, so you know, I've definitely got enough macros for like another meal. And you're gonna see another regular staple in my diet later on. I'm just putting it in my Fitness Pal now. A lot of you are probably gonna guess what it is anyways. And by the time I put that in my Fitness Pal, I still have 633 calories left to play with. But that is future Dean's problem. I'm gonna chill for a bit now and edit some of this video, so I'll catch up with you at the next meal. Guys, she's just new. It had to be the tried, the tested, the trusty yogurt bowl. I mean, come on. Why would you not want to eat that? I love one of these things every single day. Normally have it mid-morning at work, so when I have it in the evening, which is normally on the weekend, just feels like such a treat. 0% fat Greek yogurt, honey, some powdered sweetener, powdered peanut butter, and then you just mix all that in together with the yogurt, and then you top it with some protein granola and some blueberries or raspberries, or whatever fruit you want really. It just does not let you down. It's absolutely mega. You just gotta get on them. Never takes long for one of them to go down. So it's 8:15. Not really sure I'm gonna eat again. And if I do leave it there, today's total is coming in quite low. It's 1,867 calories, 170 protein, 216 carb, and 39 fat. Hypothetically, I've still got 633 calories left to work with, but don't know if I'm gonna eat again. And this is another thing you have to keep in mind. Like, sometimes, especially if you're tracking macros and you can see you've got calories left at the end of the day, it might be easy to think, oh, yeah, I can have a little something. And that's fine. I mean, you have the room to do so, but just make sure you actually want it and like you actually feel hungry for it. Like, how about that? I'm probably not going to eat again for the rest of the day. Like, so I'm happy to just leave it there for the day and just take the extra deficit. But it is an obstacle for a lot of people that they just eat for the sake of it and they eat because food's in front of them. I mean, if you're tracking, you've got calories to spare, then sure, why not? Just obviously just make sure that you stick to your targets. And if you're not tracking, just make sure you're sensible. A lot of the time, you're not even hungry for it, you don't actually want it. So just learn to listen to your body's signals. If you're full, you don't fancy anything else, just leave it there. Anyways, as you might be able to hear, I've got the Everton game on in the background. So I am just gonna chill for the rest of the evening, watch this, and then probably get myself to bed. That concludes a full day of eating on my winter cut. Is there anything that's really surprised you watching this video? Just drop it in the comments below and let me know. Or if you've got any questions about fat loss, calorie deficits, or anything else to do with fitness, drop them in the comments below as well. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. I'd like to thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. One more video to close out the year, and I hope to see you there. Have an amazing week ahead, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.